In today's DIY, I'll be showing you how to transform Dollar Tree golf balls into a lighted wall art. This is a lighted wall mirror, and for this DIY, I used the Dollar Tree 8-inch round mirror, golf balls, foam board, and old CDs I already had at home. So let's get started. I'm going to start with one pack of my Dollar Tree golf balls, and then my mirror, and I'll be taking the mirror and the backing from the frame. And these are my discs. These are DVDs. CDs or DVDs can be used. I'll be using 8 of those. I have some Dollar Tree sand, which I'll be using for texture, and now I'll be spray painting. And I'll be using this Rust-oleum hammered spray paint. And I'll be using the hammered spray paint just on the frame of my mirror. And for my CDs, I'll be using the Rust-oleum coat chrome. I sprayed a generous amount and then I added my sand, and that will bond the sand to the CD. Then I gave it another coat to cover the color of the sand, and then I put them to dry. While those are drying, I cut 2-inch pieces of my foam board, 2-inch wide, and I'm taking off the paper from both sides. And that will allow the foam board to be pliable, so it will be easy to form around the CDs. Here I'm placing the CDs in the pattern that I want them, and then I'm just going to use the backing from my mirror to measure the spacing so it can be sort of even when I place my mirror. And then I use my hot glue to attach them, but I find that the better way to do this, as always, I do things as I go, so the better way to do this is to attach the CDs all together first, and then apply your spray paint and your sand after they're attached. So after they were attached to the size that I want, I went ahead and started to apply my frame. And I'm just using my hot glue to attach my foam board, and I'm starting from one corner of the CD to the next corner. And then I'll just go around right at the edge, and then I'll cut the foam board and start to do the next one. And this is the last one, same procedure. Now I'll just go ahead and paint my foam board, and I'm using a black matte acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. While that was drying, I used my X-Acto knife to pierce holes, just tiny holes, through the back of my golf balls where I'm going to place my string light. And for this one, just use a little acetone to take away the marking. Then I use my hot glue to attach the golf balls over the openings on the CDs. Then I attach my fairy lights, and I got these 6 in a pack from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description in case you'd like them. It has 20 bulbs, so I placed 2 in each of my golf balls, and then I had 4 left over. And I just put the bulbs right at the edge so the light will illuminate through. Now my mirror frame is all dried and it has that hammered effect, so I place the mirror back inside and place the back on. Now my lights are all working perfect. Then I just place my mirror frame on top, and I'm using my hot glue to hold it down, and I flip it over and use the hot glue to reinforce it. So to finish up our wall decor, I'm going to be placing the frame on top of a piece of foam board, and I'll just use my marker to mark around the edges, and I'll use my X-Acto knife to cut out the piece. And that is going to be for the back, and I'll just use my hot glue to attach that. And as usual, I'm removing the paper from the foam board, and that will cause it not to shrink because I'll be painting it. And for the battery pack, I'm just going to use my hot glue to hold it right on that edge. And you want to make sure that you leave the screws up, so when it's time to change the battery, it's easily accessible. And since I have the battery pack on one side, I just cut a piece of my foam board so it can balance on the wall. And I'm just going to glue it in place and glue my hooks in place right above that, and this is how I'll hang it on the wall. And then I use my same matte acrylic paint, and I just paint the back so it can look nice and neat. Before you leave, please consider giving me a thumbs up on the video. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you. And that completes our Dollar Tree lidded wall mirror. Let me know what you think about this one, if you think you'll give it a try. And the CDs were optional. You could use all foam board if you'd like to recreate this. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this DIY. And I thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next Friday. Bye bye. Click on the screen if you'd like to watch more of my wall decor DIYs.